Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and today, ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit talking about what happened on Raw with the return of Goldberg and him challenging Gunther, and also an update on Liv Morgan, and also this whole AEW WWE thing where WWE is countering AEW and how Goldberg is supposed to be the counter to AEW All In. But before we get into all that, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as I do produce weekly wrestling content here on this channel, and I will be live streaming Night of Champions next Saturday here on this channel, 12:30 Eastern Time. You know, a lot of people wonder when CM Punk came back, would he do a Saudi show? Well, guess what? CM Punk, John Cena in Saudi Arabia for the WWE Championship, the King, Queen of the Ring finals, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you do join me for an action-packed Saturday Night of Champions. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of Saturday night action-packed, let's talk about what happened on Raw first, because Goldberg came out and he confronted Gunther. Gunther wanted Seth Rollins to come out there and just go ahead and cash in on him. He said, hey, I'm right here. Come out here and cash in on me, whatever. Goldberg comes out and basically made the challenge for Saturday night's main event in his hometown. Now, there obviously had been rumors of Goldberg showing up on Raw, that his last match would be taking place this year in 2025, but we didn't know when and where. And now we potentially know his last match could be taking place right in Atlanta, Georgia, his hometown, against the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. And could it be his last match? Could the WWE really do the unthinkable? Could Goldberg actually become the World Heavyweight Champion? I mean, did we just sacrifice Jey Uso's title reign for Goldberg to get a title reign? I mean, look. This, to me, is kind of one of those things where it's the complete opposite of what we've seen from Triple H's booking in terms of the legends, because once Triple H took control from Vince, one of the things I think a lot of fans noticed is that Triple H prefers to use current day talent over the legends. And, we know Vince was big on the legends, bringing in part-timers like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, The Rock. So he always liked to bring in the legends and use them in matches and whatnot. And Triple H preferred, we always talk about the Royal Rumble every year. Oh, what legends, what Hall of Famers could come out. And a lot of times in these last couple Royal Rumbles, it's been kind of just NXT talent or using the back end of the main roster to fill out the Rumble. It's not been using the legends. Of Jey losing the title just so Goldberg can get a world title match. This is from the Vince McMahon playbook. This isn't what we usually see from Triple H in terms of booking. Now, Jey Uso is in the Final Four of the King of the Ring tournament. He does have to face Cody Rhodes. And yeah, there's a story there between Jey and Cody, and potentially a Jey and Sami finals at Saudi Arabia. But it's one of those things where it's like, did we really need to sacrifice Jey's reign? Like, I feel like, to me, the Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar finish from No Way Out 2004 was right there. Like, why not have Goldberg in the audience for the match between Jay and Gunther. And then during the match, we get a ref bump. And then during the match, Gunther does something to piss Goldberg off. And then when the referee, we get a ref bump, and Goldberg comes in, spears Gunther, Uso splash, Jey Uso retains, right? Like, why couldn't we just revisited the Eddie Guerrero Brock Lesnar finish? That to me would have been perfect because this doesn't need the world title. Now, let's talk about the other reason here, potentially. Is that the WWE right now, they seem to be countering everything AEW does. They put Saturday Night's Main Event against AEW All In, AEW All In. Tony Khan moved All In to an earlier time slot. And then WWE turned around and said, we're going to put NXT Great American Bash right up directly against AEW All In. Now, don't get me wrong. We know how long the AEW cards do tend to go. So that might be that's going to be interesting. Because I do have a announcement coming soon for a major streaming week. A major weekend of streaming that I plan on doing for that weekend with like 3 shows going on. But like, Goldberg? Really? I mean, like, I don't understand it. Like, people who are going to watch AEW All In, like, I get it. Okay, you can watch, Saturday Night's Main Event. It's free. It's nationwide. It's on NBC. Like, hey, don't pay $50 for All In. Watch Saturday Night's Main Event for free. Or whatever the cost of Peacock is, you can watch NXT Great American Bash. Like, okay, I get it. Trying to say that basically you're offering a cheaper alternative or a free alternative. I get that. So in one way, I understand what the WWE is trying to do. But people are they already made their mind up. Like I said, like, I have an announcement coming up soon after Night of Champions in regards to that weekend and a major streaming weekend, I will say. And I already plan on watching AEW All In. So, spoiler alert, I will be live streaming AEW All In. But the people who watch AEW are going to watch AEW. People who watch WWE are going to watch WWE. WWE TKO is not going to change that. Like, that's the thing that I think that is great, interesting, is that, they're not competition, right? But you're putting competition you're putting your shows in direct conflict, head to head, against AEW shows. And again, even when we go back to the Wednesday Night Wars, AEW, NXT, people are going to watch what they want to watch. Like, if you're an AEW fan, you don't watch WWE, you're going to watch AEW All In. You're going to pay $50 for AEW All In. If you're a WWE fan, you don't watch AEW, you're going to watch NXT Great American Bash, or if you don't watch NXT, you're going to, wait for Saturday Night's Main Event. And you're going to watch, wait for Goldberg. Maybe you're excited for it. I know I have a friend, one of my wrestling friends, who is a big Bill Goldberg fan. And I know he's probably excited for this. But it's one of those things where I just don't understand the logic here, where they think that the WWE thinks that Goldberg is going to take people away from AEW. I just don't understand this whole entire, what do you want to call it? Damn, my mind, I'm losing thought here. This whole war, but tribalism. Thank you, tribalism. Like this whole tribalism thing is just insane to me. Like the fans are going to watch what they want to watch. Like they're not going to change their mind on it. Like, oh, Goldberg's back. Okay, well, I'm not missing Kenny Omega versus Okada. Like for that. Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley, in which hopefully will be the last match that Jon Moxley is the AEW World Champion. But again, people are going to watch what they want to watch, and I don't WWE, I guess they think they're going to change people's minds. And again, I go back to what I said earlier. Yeah, I understand. Oh, hey, look, Saturday Night's Main Event is free. You don't need to pay $50. I get that part. But if people are already planning on watching AEW All In, they're already putting aside that $50 so they can watch AEW All In. So, yeah, I mean, it's funny we talk about the tribalism amongst the fans, and I think that's the worst. Tribalism in wrestling among the fans is absolutely the worst. But it's kind of weird to see Triple H and Tony Khan kind of take part into that tribalism. But we'll see. Leave a comment below. Are you watching AEW All In, or are you going to watch NXT in Saturday Night's Main Event instead? And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, update on Liv Morgan. Basically, it's going to be about the latest update that I saw as of the recording this video is about 16 weeks until she's cleared for physical contact. I mean, that will put her out until, did the math, about October. And a dislocated shoulder, it's kind of ironic given how the whole storyline went last year with Rhea Ripley getting the shoulder. That parlayed into the whole Rhea Liv Dom storyline from last year and everything that built up to SummerSlam. Now Liv is dealing with the shoulder injury of her own, but also we were kind of in the middle of or in the beginning stages of this new storyline with Roxanne being introduced into the group. And look, I know some people will say this is going to turn out to be like last year, and Dom's going to live for Roxanne. But I think this is still part of some kind of plan with Finn Balor and Roxanne working together to try to go after Dom and Liv. I think that's ultimately what they're going for. I think Finn ultimately taking the Intercontinental Championship off of Dom. But it's one of those things to me where, man, what do you do in this situation? Without Rhea, they had the tournament. Becky Lynch won the Battle Royal to become the world champion. Then Liv Morgan beat Becky Lynch to become the world champion. And that parlayed into the whole Rhea Dom feud, Rhea Dom Liv feud. And now what do you do this year, right? Because if we're looking at a time frame about October, sometime in the fall, boy, that is a long time. Now we know Liv and Raquel are the tag team champions, so are they going to strip the titles away? Because we do have Evolution coming up, which is the all women's PLE, where they could technically strip the titles from Liv and Raquel and then do a fatal 4-way ladder match or something for the vacant titles. Triple H has talked about he doesn't know how he's going to get all the women on the card. Well, I mean, if you have to vacate the titles, that's a good way to do it, and you at least get 8 women in one match on that card. But does Raquel team with Roxanne? Because could you slide in, say, with the Freebird rule? where Roxanne teams with Raquel in Liv's place. That would be an interesting development within the storyline and kind of working around Liv's injury. But again, if we're looking at 16 weeks, I mean, they were just starting to build to what I think probably would have been the Bella twins, Nikki and Brie, against Liv and Raquel for the women's tag titles. But then again, maybe based off of what Rhea costs Raquel her chance to move on in the Queen of the Ring, that maybe, just maybe, we could have probably gotten Rhea and Nikki against Liv and Raquel. Like, I don't. So now that's on hold. Like, what do you do now with Nikki? What do you do with Nikki and Brie? If Brie was going to come back, now what do you do with Rhea Ripley at Evolution? So there's a lot of major storylines that are going to have to be rewritten in the women's division. But just, man, I hate it for the women, because the timing of the injuries we've seen with the women these last couple years has been insane. Obviously, we just got Asuka back from injury, Kairi back from injury, Charlotte Flair returned from injury this year. She got injured in December 2023, so she missed WrestleMania 40. She missed all of 2024. And now, we saw Rhea Ripley miss part of 2024. Now we're looking at Liv Morgan missing a good chunk of 2025. So it's crazy. Like, these injuries with the women's division, WWE, is just terrible. Because we're all going to sit there and going, man, what were the original plans? And sometimes it works out. Sometimes you might get find a little shining light with these injuries, the way we saw with Rhea and Liv, and they were able to build up the whole Liv and Dom relationship while Rhea was injured. So are they going to be able to do the same for this whole Roxanne, Finn, Liv, Raquel Judgment Day storyline like they did last year? So yeah, that sucks for Liv Morgan. Ever since she joined the Judgment Day, she was on a roll. She was on her way to kind of becoming a major star. I tweeted this out, and I was like, there's no way they can keep her a heel much longer. She's going down the same path as Rhea Ripley, where she was so good, even though she was a heel, she got over as a babyface, and Liv was trending towards that same path. So, is she going to come back as a babyface? I'm just saying, WWE did not take full advantage of that pop that Dominic Mysterio got when he won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. You can say it was WrestleMania crowd, but they could have built off of that instead of keeping him as a heel. And with Liv Morgan on her way, probably when she comes back, getting that big babyface pop that a major star gets returning from injury, I'm going to be curious to see, do Liv and Dom split? Maybe Liv and Dom are the baby faces, Finn, Roxanne are the heels. Does the Judgment Day stay together? Are we finally going to end the Judgment Day? Where does Raquel Rodriguez fit in all of this? So yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think they're going to do with Liv Morgan potentially being out for a good chunk of the year? And again, Goldberg, Gunther against All In. Let me know your thoughts on that. And as always, I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.